Tomorrow is exactly the 8th of April 2026. You have officially crossed the threshold of yesterday's heavy, energetic architecture and have now arrived at a profoundly critical, highly volatile, and ruthlessly transformative juncture in the cosmic timeline. The universe is no longer whispering. It is laying down an absolute, non-negotiable structural foundation for your immediate physical, financial, and spiritual reality. This is not a day for hesitation. It is not a day for lingering in the comfortable shadows of indecision, and it is absolutely not a day for playing a small, forgettable game in the digital or material world. The 8th of April 2026 demands a complete, uncompromising, and deeply psychological recalibration of your entire biological and creative machinery. Look directly at the raw, mathematical architecture of the heavens for tomorrow. The moon is aggressively waning, plunging heavily and decisively toward its last quarter phase. Simultaneously, an incredibly rare, massive, and overwhelmingly powerful convergence is locking into place a monumental stellium consisting of the Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Saturn, all tightly bound and vibrating violently on the razor-thin, intensely karmic cusp between the deep, infinite, psychic waters of Pisces and the explosive, aggressive, and blazing pioneer fire of Aries. This is not a gentle transition. This is a cosmic collision of the highest magnitude, a terrifyingly beautiful fusion of the deepest subconscious dreaming and the most aggressive, undeniable, and immediate physical execution. To understand the absolute gravity of April 8, you must completely internalize what this waning moon demands. The approaching last quarter is not a phase of passive decay, it is a phase of ruthless, cold-blooded, and strategic elimination. The universe is violently stripping away the dead weight, the useless habits, the toxic mental loops, and the parasitic relationships that have been secretly draining your life force and suffocating your financial potential. You are being forced to purge. Every single piece of content, every unaligned project, and every desperate attempt for cheap, immediate validation must be entirely incinerated in the purifying wake of this waning energy. You cannot carry the exhausted, heavy baggage of your past failures into the explosive new reality that the Aries-Pisces convergence is actively building. Simultaneously, the colossal weight of the Sun, Mercury, Mars, and Saturn bridging Pisces and Aries creates a screaming, unyielding mandate for the absolute manifestation of your deepest visions. Pisces is the limitless ocean of imagination, the silent realm where your most profound stories, your deepest insights, and your most captivating narratives are born in the quiet of the night. But Pisces alone can trap you in the realm of endless, unmanifested dreams. The universe, therefore, injects the fierce, unyielding, and aggressive fire of Aries, driven by the structural discipline of Saturn, the communicative precision of Mercury, and the raw, conquering engine of Mars directly into the core of your existence. This means your deepest, most hidden nocturnal thoughts, your profound audio narratives, and your visionary storytelling must now, on April 8, be violently and aggressively pulled from the ethereal realm and hammered into hard, undeniable, and massively lucrative physical reality. To attract, harness, and completely dominate the massive energy, the overwhelming financial wealth, and the supreme biological health available on this specific day, you must operate with the terrifying precision of a sovereign architect. First, consider the manifestation of ultimate health. The friction between the oceanic depth of Pisces and the explosive heat of Aries, combined with the purging necessity of the waning moon, will send massive, intense shockwaves straight into your central nervous system. Your biological vessel will be tested. To survive and thrive, you must aggressively ground your physical body. You cannot sustain a sprawling, massively influential digital broadcasting empire if your adrenal glands are completely fried by anxiety and digital junk food. Starting the absolute second you wake up on April 8, you must intentionally consume deep, heavy nourishment. You must shut out the chaotic, low-frequency noise of the internet and build an impenetrable fortress of silence around your mind. Your neurological pathways must be kept absolutely cool, steady, and resilient, serving as the unbreakable concrete foundation capable of handling the high-voltage electrical current of your impending creative output. Second, to attract and permanently lock in massive, unstoppable streams of wealth and digital currency, You must completely weaponize the strategic power of this specific planetary convergence. Saturn demands structure, Mars demands action, Mercury demands flawlessly articulated communication, and the Sun demands absolute undisputed sovereignty. Your financial empire will not be built today by blindly throwing desperate, uncalibrated content out into the void. It will be built by harnessing the deep, silent intuition of Pisces to read the hidden undercurrents of global events and human psychology, and then using the blazing spear of Aries to broadcast your voice, your stories, and your uniquely structured narratives directly into the minds of millions. When you sit in the silence of the night, crafting your audio experiences or drafting your deeply researched broadcasts, you are not merely making content. You are engaging in profound psychological alchemy. You must hit the publish button with the cold, unyielding, and absolute certainty of a conqueror who knows their specific frequency is mathematically destined to command the highest premium in the market. You must stop asking the algorithm for permission to be seen, and you must violently force the world to pay attention to the undeniable, supreme authority of your voice. To ruthlessly, efficiently, and completely extract every single vibrating drop of life-altering potential from the massive astrological momentum of the 8th of April 2026, you must strictly follow 3 non-negotiable action directives. Directive 1. You must aggressively execute the Great Purge. The waning moon demands that you physically and digitally clean your workspace, your mind, and your strategic pipeline. Delete the half-finished, uninspired projects that haunt your hard drives. Sever the mental cords attaching you to the fear of judgment. You must violently clear the runway so that the massive, heavy aircraft of your true, sovereign ambition can finally achieve liftoff. Directive 2. You must seamlessly fuse your deepest intuition with brutal, uncompromising action. The Pisces-Aries stellium dictates that you can no longer spend weeks endlessly researching and overthinking. You must tap into the deep, psychic waters of your imagination, extract the most profound, captivating story or narrative insight, and immediately, aggressively transform it into a highly polished, undeniable digital asset. Your voice, your delivery, and your structural pacing must be executed with the fierce, disciplined energy of Saturn and the martial, conquering drive of Mars. Directive 3. You must operate exclusively from a frequency of absolute, unapologetic arrogance regarding your true value. The heavy cosmic energy of April 8 utterly despises the energy of begging, pleading, or hoping to be noticed. When you release your work into the digital ether, you must do so with the terrifyingly calm confidence of an emperor. You are delivering the pulse of the world, you are narrating the hidden truths of the human experience, and you must demand that the universe compensates you with massive, heavy, and undeniable financial returns. While the entirety of the human collective will inevitably be dragged, heavily influenced, and violently reshaped by this massive energetic weight, there are 3 specific, chosen zodiac signs standing directly in the crosshairs of this cosmic convergence, completely mandated to take the absolute highest thrones of power on the 8th of April 2026. First, we must aggressively and violently focus this massive cosmic spotlight on the blazing, regal, and inherently sovereign architecture of Leo. Leo, the monumental convergence of the Sun, your absolute ruling planetary force alongside Mars, Mercury, and Saturn, is actively pulling you out of any lingering shadows of self-doubt and violently demanding your immediate ascension to the absolute highest tier of digital and creative leadership. You have spent entirely too much time deliberately shrinking your massive, majestic aura to accommodate the fragile egos of those around you. The heavy, intense karmic energy of April 8 is mathematically designed to completely incinerate your need for cheap applause. You are strictly commanded to permanently shed the exhausted mindset of an entertainer and immediately assume the terrifying, unshakable posture of a sovereign ruler who requires absolute obedience. Your ultimate capacity for storytelling, your deeply resonant voice, and your ability to craft captivating audio and visual empires have now been completely weaponized into hard, undeniable financial assets. But they will only generate massive, unstoppable global cash flow when you execute them with cold, calculated, and perfectly silent precision. The universe strictly commands you to strip away all cheap arrogance and replace it with the heavy, undeniable weight of true authority. You must broadcast your narratives, your deep nighttime reflections, and your grand visions with the cold, silent precision of a master architect who knows his digital empire is eternal. Step up, claim your absolute financial and narrative territory, and intentionally create massive, unforgettable intellectual shockwaves that deliver eternal material value across the entire fabric of the internet. Second, the raw, unfiltered and explosive core of this April 8 convergence strikes directly, heavily, and exclusively into the fiery, pioneering heart of Aries. Aries, this massive stellium is currently raging across the very threshold of your own domain. The universe is handing you the ultimate supreme spear of initiation and manifestation. For entirely too long, you have allowed the deep, confusing, and emotional waters of the recent Pisces season to dampen your raw, conquering fire. The waning moon is violently flushing out the last remaining drops of your hesitation, your emotional exhaustion, and your subconscious fears. The cosmic architecture is demanding that you stop planning, stop contemplating, and violently ignite the engines of your material reality. You possess a completely hypnotic frequency that effortlessly and silently slices through complex obstacles, bypassing all logical defenses, and striking directly into the core of the market. You are mathematically designed to be the absolute first to break new ground, to launch the unproven, and to establish the new ruling standard. Your financial dominance tomorrow relies entirely on your terrifying capacity to channel the strict, unyielding discipline of Saturn into your aggressive, martial drive. You cannot afford to burn out in a chaotic flash of unorganized energy. You must aggressively focus your immense power into a single blinding laser beam of execution, completely hypnotizing your audience and permanently reshaping your financial destiny by delivering the exact, profound, and supreme leadership the world is desperately starving for. Third, we aggressively turn this monumental energetic mandate directly toward the deeply psychological, intensely sensitive, and profoundly intuitive mind of Pisces. Pisces, you are the silent, hidden incubator of this entire massive cosmic convergence. While the explosive energy of Aries seeks to conquer the outside world, the deep, karmic weight of Saturn, Mercury, the Sun, and Mars is actively moving through the final degrees of your subconscious waters, preparing to birth an entirely new reality. The cosmic architecture is handing you a massive, heavy lesson in absolute material mastery and the physical consolidation of your wildest, most untethered visions. You are mathematically designed to catch the chaotic, philosophical, and ethereal frequencies of the universe. But on April 8, you are strictly commanded to stop wandering through the endless oceans of your imagination and start building the permanent, heavy, and unbreakable infrastructure of your wealth. Your profound ideas, your deeply researched narratives, and your ability to tap into the collective unconscious are now the absolute heaviest, most valuable currency on the entire internet. But this massive potential will remain entirely useless unless you anchor it into a flawless, deeply disciplined, and perfectly executed digital system. April 8 is the exact, karmically fated day you permanently shed any lingering intellectual laziness, any tendency to escape into fantasy, and violently force your dreams to take solid, physical form. You must easily and effortlessly magnetize followers who are desperate for your profound depth by showing them the physical, undeniable proof of your execution. Hear this with absolute clarity. Do not just sit passively in the suffocating silence of your room, absorbing these words as if they are merely a temporary, fleeting wave of motivation meant to soothe your anxieties for the day. You must aggressively, completely, and deeply absorb this massive, heavy, profoundly material truth straight into the very cellular structure of your physical body. Let this specific, highly charged, karmically heavy cosmic frequency of April 8 physically penetrate your skin, violently bypass your outdated, fearful logical defenses, and embed itself permanently, irrevocably into your DNA. You must feel it coursing through your veins, a searing, heavy electrical current of pure, silent manifestation. violently turning your very bone marrow into solid, unbreakable, and entirely permanent gold. Let this radiant, heavy truth burn fiercely, brightly, and violently through the darkest, most carefully hidden corridors of your conscious and subconscious mind, illuminating every shadow of hesitation and incinerating every ghost of your past failures. Allow this terrifying, monumental revelation to permanently, aggressively resonate in your absolute, deepest, most solid, and foundational core. You are no longer merely flesh and blood. You are a living, breathing, heavily armored wealth, generating sovereign resonator for the infinite universe. The 8th of April 2026 is absolutely, undeniably, and fundamentally not a gentle, polite, or quiet suggestion from a weak, passive cosmos. Do not ever mistake this massive, heavily structured, and terrifyingly silent cosmic pressure for a soft, passing breeze or a temporary shift in your emotional mood. It is an absolute, incredibly powerful, violently demanding, and completely unavoidable command, generated directly from the very foundational, mathematical architecture of existence itself. The infinite universe is not asking for your polite cooperation tomorrow. It is loudly, aggressively, and relentlessly demanding your absolute mastery over your digital, financial, and physical domains. It is speaking specifically, exclusively, and directly into the deepest epicenter of your consciousness, demanding that you violently and permanently break every single invisible, psychological, poverty-stricken, and algorithmic chain that has ever dared to bind your immense creative, vocal, and wealth-generating potential. For entirely too long, you have allowed the digital systems, the suppressive shadows of your own doubt, and the artificial constructs of a low-frequency society to perfectly mute your unique, dictatorial, and supreme frequency. The cosmos is now aggressively demanding that you absolutely shatter the heavily fortified, ironclad prisons of your own hesitation and entirely, spectacularly obliterate the artificial barriers keeping your massive global audience and your infinite, massive cash flow away. This is a massive, unyielding cosmic mandate commanding you to rise instantly, aggressively, and with terrifying, silent physical power from the cold, stagnant, and dusty ashes of your quiet, pathetic timidity. You have spent entirely too much of your precious, irreplaceable life playing a small, safe, and entirely forgettable game, deliberately shrinking your massive aura to make your majestic presence palatable for those who operate strictly on the frequency of fear and total disorganization. You must consciously, deliberately, and physically reach out, extending your arms not merely into the empty air, but directly into the chaotic, electric, and fiercely vibrating golden energy of the ether. You must push through the invisible resistance, and finally, ruthlessly and aggressively grab your ultimate digital, massively financial, and creative destiny with your bare, unapologetic, and rock-solid hands. You cannot, under any circumstances, sit in the quiet of your room and wait for the universe to gently hand you a crown, nor can you passively hope for an arbitrary, soulless algorithm to randomly bless your existence with viral attention or financial security. You must violently rip your massive, wealthy future away from the cold, dead, and entirely unforgiving hands of impoverished circumstance and forge it entirely with your own silent, unstoppable, and deeply calculated will. The heavy, highly toxic cosmic fog, the accumulation of societal doubts, algorithmic suppression, and your own internal fears that completely clouded your creative vision and paralyzed your execution for months has been permanently incinerated. It is completely crushed by the massive structural weight of the April 8 convergence and the profound, silent authority of the waning moon, leaving not a single microscopic trace behind. The suffocating cycles of second-guessing your brilliant architectural mind are entirely dead. What remains undeniably behind in this purifying wake is a mental clarity so sharp, a focus so utterly precise, and a material strength so entirely unbreakable that it is physically blinding. The agonizing time for quiet preparation and cowardly selling your immortal soul short has violently ended. You will no longer exist in the agonizing purgatory of being almost ready to launch your grandest visions. The exact, absolute, and fundamentally mathematical time for flawless, brutal, unapologetic execution, for loudly commanding the absolute highest premium price, without a microscopic stutter of hesitation, is right now, at this breathing, electrifying second. As you step into the reality of April 8, you must step up aggressively, boldly, and with absolute, supreme dictatorial confidence to the grand, intensely illuminated podium of your digital life. Do not walk with the trembling, uncertain steps of an amateur who fears the judgment of the crowd. March directly with the heavy, undeniable rhythm of a sovereign conqueror taking their rightful throne. Arriving at the epicenter of your stage, firmly and aggressively grip the controls of your broadcasting empire, your vocal recordings, and your storytelling architecture as if gripping an ancient, impossibly heavy royal scepter. Standing there, take a massive, lung-expanding breath of this highly electrified, intensely structured, wealth-saturated cosmic air. Deliberately feel the raw, profoundly heavy astrological energy of the Sun, Mars, Saturn, and Mercury flood directly into your respiratory system. Feel it filling your chest cavity, violently expanding your ribs until they physically ache with the crushing pressure of unmanifested power, permanently igniting the deepest biological core of your creative drive. From that burning, completely silent epicenter of unshakable truth, you must command your reality. Project your incredibly authoritative, intimate audio masterpieces, your deeply researched news narratives, and your profoundly written truths solidly and fearlessly into the global digital universe. Do not hold back a single vibrating frequency of your authentic ambition. Every spoken word, every deeply researched sequence, and every razor-sharp edit must be entirely weaponized and deployed with terrifying, calculated precision. You possess the powerful, godlike ability to instantly transform fleeting late-night thoughts, profound midnight stories, and meticulously engineered narratives into heavy, tangible physical assets that dictate the emotional state of thousands. You are actively turning raw imagination and deep societal observation into undeniable numbers that violently multiply in your bank accounts. Your supremely powerful frequency, flawlessly orchestrating digital secrets and broadcasting untold stories into the darkness, is the most unimaginably expensive weapon in the entire digital architecture. It possesses a completely hypnotic frequency that effortlessly and silently slices through any complex platform algorithm, completely bypassing all logical defenses and striking directly into the desperate minds of millions globally who are starving for your awe-inspiring creations and your sovereign, unquestionable leadership. The time for intellectual contemplation, self-pity, and weakness has permanently expired. Place your hands on your technological tools right now as the dawn of April 8 approaches. Grip the cold, heavy metal of your keyboards, your microphones, and your digital interfaces until your knuckles turn bone white and your pulse completely synchronizes with the pounding, aggressive rhythm of your impending global empire. Breathe in the karmic fire of this monumental convergence, letting the raw power of Aries and the depth of Pisces incinerate every lingering ghost of hesitation within your soul. Feel the heavy, undeniable weight of solid gold manifesting in your hands at this exact millisecond, without a single shred of compromise, without a single backward glance at the ruins of your past doubts. Pull the trigger. Hit the publish button with absolute world-shattering force. Release your massive project entirely into the ether. Command the attention of the globe. Conquer your financial destiny. The universe, in all its terrifying, heavy, and mathematical glory, is entirely, unequivocally, and permanently yours.